now into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this.
Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
You were supposed to bring death to the flagships, not join them.
Google has found a new way to piss me off.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
Every time I say it, it's going to suck even more.
Everyone's idiots.
I am Nadella. I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing.
Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I'm here with Landon.
Hello.
And Caleb.
Hi.
And we are here to talk all things tech. There's not a lot of good. I mean,
yeah,
we're going to talk about it. You know, we had 2 weeks off because we totally knew that a lot of this stuff was coming. That we're going to talk about. We needed, because we're trying to be positive, right? Is that?
Are we? Am I? Am I even trying anymore?
I don't think he is. Listener, you
What's the
decide. Yes, the point.
You know, if Caleb really was trying to be positive still, he probably would just retire from the podcast.
Listen, after the past couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
If I was still trying to be positive, I would not have shown up here. I would be up in the mountains camping right now if I was trying to be positive about tech.
Oh, well, you know what? Let's get into this because, yikes. First thing on here, we have the Samsung Galaxy Z Trifold.
Yes, that's the name of the Trifold phone from Samsung.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's official. They announced it. They didn't hold an event for this because I guess they didn't want to bring that much attention to it. I don't know, maybe. But they talked about it in a blog post, basically. It's not available everywhere yet. It's available in Korea, where Samsung, headquarters are, and a few other places. It will be coming to the US soon, they say. It's expected to release sometime this month. I keep hearing December 12th is a potential release date for the US, but don't know that for sure. So keep that in mind. But this phone device thing is, as the name implies, a tri-folding phone from Samsung. The inside display is a full 10-inch display, so it's quite large when you open it up, which if it wasn't any bigger than the regular Fold, I'd be really concerned. But it's a good-sized phone.
Oh, yeah, look at that thing.
The outside display, when closed, is 6.5 inches, so it's your standard size phone there. In reality, there's not really a whole lot to talk about with this phone. We don't have an official U.S. price list or price for it yet. We're expecting it to be between $2,500 and $3,000 based on the price that it is in Korea. And honestly, that sounds about right. Because it is more or less a flagship spec-wise device. And it's got a bigger display. It's folding in two different places. It makes sense, the price for it. It is expensive. But when you think about it, if you're buying a high-end flagship phone and a 10-inch tablet, it kind of, sort of close to evens out price-wise. But then you're getting it in one device. So, this is definitely for a very specific person. This is not going to be, this is not even going to be nearly as popular as the regular Fold, which is already not super popular, compared to your regular flagship phone, obviously. And I've seen way more of the flip style folding phones than I have the folding, the hot dog style folding phones.
Yep.
And so I don't expect to ever see one of these in person, even in a store for that matter, let alone in the wild, but being used by somebody. But I do think it's an interesting product, and I like that companies are doing this. And the one big critique I have, though, is looking at pictures. Is the inside display. It does have an inside camera on that display. It's on the right fold.
Yes.
Like
It is on the right fold.
Samsung,
Why
put
not
it
the
in
middle?
the middle.
Why is it not in the middle, Samsung?
And it's not like
What?
if you were to turn it in portrait mode and then it's on the like landscape right corner, basically. Or right, I guess it's the middle of the right fold. But yeah, put it in the middle of the middle fold, Samsung,
Yeah,
where it makes
I don't-
sense.
Yeah, it's.
Because, well, this device would be great for doing video calls and things like that because of the bigger display. But then you're looking to the right to look at the camera instead of in the middle. That is just very odd to me. Very odd choice.
well, it is Samsung.
They do odd things.
So, like for instance, the name of this thing, which I get that Z is a thing that they just use with their folding phones now.
To be fair,
Okay,
this is
whatever.
the first folding phone that actually is a Z.
Does it
Yes.
actually
Well,
fold to form
no.
a Z?
Now that I think about
Yeah.
it,
It folds
doesn't.
up both stacked on
That's
top
true.
of each other. It makes a U.
That's true. It's a
That's
U-
why it
yeah,
bugs me.
That's
There's
right.
two
You're right.
pictures I'm seeing here, but it's possible it shows it as a Z, but it also shows it as a U. So that one on the left side can maybe go further.
Well, they
Really?
both fold inside.
Okay, hold on.
So I'm thinking
they
it's the
both can fold
Huawei
in.
Mate X phone, their Trifold, that is a Z folding phone. This one is not a Z folding phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
It-
maybe it's
yep.
the picture that I came up. I see it says Samsung unveils Galaxy Z Trifold 3-panel phone, and it shows it in a Z right here.
I think what it's doing is showing you their closest comparator, which is the Huawei one,
Yeah.
which does fold. One screen folds behind, the other one folds in front. And
Maybe.
that you could call a Z trifold and it would make sense because it forms a Z. This one does not. This one, they both fold in and stack on top of each other.
Yeah. It is
And
interesting.
they are different thicknesses, which I did think was kind of like every
Yes.
third of the phone is a different thickness.
Yes.
Which is like, you know what? That's an interesting way to address the issue of like, yeah, we have to stack all these screens on top of each other. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And where they put different internal hardware is also, is going to change how thick certain portions of it are.
Yep.
One cool thing I do like about this that they did is you can open it up and have it like basically be a Samsung tablet more or less, or you can use full on DeX mode, which is basically like their computer style version of Android. And I love that. And I think that's a really cool feature. I kind of wish they would do that on the regular Fold. Granted, that is a smaller display. It's 8 inches, not 10. But I still think it could be usable. But on the 10-inch display, they do give you that. So you can have just regular windowed apps placed wherever you want in whatever size you want. Or you can do it the traditional Android way and have like multiple apps open, but they're kind of segmented into certain spaces. You can do it either way, and I like that they give you that option. If I were to use something like this, I'd probably want it to be used mostly in that DeX mode, basically a desktop style touch interface. I think that would be the most user-friendly way to use this type of device, in my opinion. But I do like that they give you both options. And another thing they did, I think this is, well, I don't know if this works in DeX mode or not, but in the Android style, like tablets view of it, you can have like pre-designated, like he can have an icon set up that'll open up certain apps in certain views. So if you have it set up to open 3 or 4 different apps and they're in different corners or whatnot, you can just set an icon for that group of apps. You can tap it and it'll open all the apps all at once where you want them to be. So if there's like a few different apps that you use on a regular basis in, multitasking and whatnot, you can just save that and have it open automatically. I do like that a lot as well. But yeah, the DeX feature on this is, I think, really cool. You can also plug it into an external monitor and get a bigger DeX display, but you can do that with any Samsung phone at this point. So that's, in my opinion, not really a selling feature of this one specifically. I do believe you can use it as a secondary display to that. Like, so if you wanted to have a bigger monitor with DeX mode, you can use this as a secondary display to that, as you could, a regular tablet, which I do also think is kind of cool. But at minimum $2,500, probably, I'm thinking it's probably going to be closer to $2,800. But at that price, you got to really have a good use case for this type of device in order to buy it. And I've also heard that internal display, like the quote-unquote glass that's inside these folding phones, is already relatively soft. Like, you can dig your fingernail into them and dent them that way. And from what I understand, this one is even more soft than what is currently available on other ones. And that does make sense, considering it's got to fold in 2 different places and move around and all sorts of different things. But just keep that in mind. It's going to be a little more sensitive than what the other folding phone options are on their inside display. So it's interesting. There's not any reviews for this yet that I've seen, but I'm sure they'll be coming shortly. But yeah, that's the new Samsung Galaxy Z Trifold. Buy at your own risk, I suppose.
Yes, definitely. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll move on. Got some Apple news here. Google hacks, AirDrop, and everyone cheers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yay!
Essentially, listener, if you have a Pixel, is it just the most recent family of Pixels, or is it like...
Currently, it is only on the Pixel 10 phones.
Okay, so if you've got a Pixel 10, but I suspect probably won't be too long before it comes to some of the older Pixels as well.
Yeah.
You will be able to do a... What do they call it? Just Android Share or whatever?
It's called Quick Share on Android. Quick Share.
Quick Share.
Yeah.
You'll be able to just Quick Share to your friend's iPhone, and they'll be able to AirDrop to you. And It will look exactly like an AirDrop to them. It will look exactly like a Quick Share to you. There's nothing weird going on there. Don't have to download any weird apps or set up any bizarre halfway servers in your house or anything like that. It's just enabled. I guess the one thing Google said in their blog post that kind of went over this, that, is the key. You're not going to be able to, it won't support like sharing with your contacts.
Yeah, it's
right?
not a contacts
so normally,
only. It's got to be open to everyone for like 10 minutes or something like that.
So you can, right? Like, with AirDrop, and I assume with Quick Share, you can, generally speaking, you have it defaulted to only allow your phone to be visible to your contacts. You can set it to be always visible to everyone else. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. You can do a temporary one, right? Where it's just like, hey, make me visible to everyone for 10 minutes, and then you'll be able to share your files back and forth. Google did this by, like I said, essentially hacking the AirDrop handshake and connection protocol. And since with AirDrop, this doesn't actually like go to the cloud, this is an ad hoc Bluetooth connection between devices that files are sent over. That's what AirDrop has always been. And that's what Quick Share is, as far as I'm aware. You have to be in proximity to each other to use these things. And so it's technically fairly secure. Google did talk about how what they were doing didn't actually compromise any of the security that is inherent in AirDrop, and that they have implemented the same types of protections for in-flight files as Apple has on AirDrop. None of that's been compromised. They didn't have to do any weird backdoor shenanigans in order to make it work. They just reverse engineered the handshake protocols and implemented them in Quick Share.
Yeah.
And Apple had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Apple has said nothing about it. And it does kind of harken back a little bit to the time that that one company,
Beeper?
The beeper thing, where they basically figured out how to access Apple's iMessage protocol and send blue message bubbles from Android phones. That was a whole thing, but that is a little bit of a different story because those actually do go to Apple's servers, and that did feel like it was a bit of a security risk and stuff like this. This is not quite that same way, but it's still very similar, other than the fact that the folks that made Beeper were a tiny little company, and it's Google.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there are a few companies, a very small number of companies in the world that could stand up to a legitimate legal threat from Apple. Google is one of them.
Yeah.
So if Apple is going to pick a fight on this, I don't think Google's going to back down easily.
No. And I don't think Apple would win, because from what I understand, the way Google is able to do this was because of something in a new law with the EU. Apple had to open up certain things. And so because of that, Google was able to make this work correctly and like properly. They didn't have to really do any, like Caleb said, they didn't have to do any back end like breaking of things to make it work. So and for that reason also, I think that's another reason Apple's not getting too, I'm sure they might be upset internally, but publicly they're not going to say anything because it's a positive thing for everybody. And it also works, from what I understand, does work if you have a Mac, which there are a lot of people that have an Android phone and a Mac, and now you can AirDrop between devices, which is fantastic.
Yeah. No, frankly, I use that all the time.
Yeah.
Between my iPhone and my Mac. Like that's a very common use case. So yeah, there you go. Google hacked AirDrop. Everyone's happy about it. That was the best news that has come out of the past couple of weeks for Apple and just kind of like the tech I pay attention to in general. Which says a lot, listener, about how the past couple of weeks have been.
Yep. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to get into some general tech news, which, hey, just reading this right before I say it just makes me laugh. Caleb's just not even trying to be positive this episode.
So, let me just
oh boy, here
sit up a little bit here. Okay. Listener, I come to you in this dark time to offer what reassurance I can. If you are listening to this podcast, you do have tech devices already in your possession. They are functioning. You need to make sure that over the coming months, you're doing absolutely everything you can to safeguard the functionality of those devices in whatever way is necessary. Because holy crap, are things going to get expensive here real quick, okay? Like now... So I'm not sure if you've been paying attention too much to the AI sphere, listener, but it has been bubbling in a very obnoxious way for about the past 2 years, let's say. And this past 6 months, this past summer especially, AI data centers became a real hot topic everywhere, but particularly in the United States. Everybody is trying to build data centers to store the massive amounts of data necessary to run these stupid large language models and all of the other AI features associated with them, as well as to just have the GPU horsepower necessary to power the stupid large language models and all the other AI features associated with them. This has resulted in a number of things. If, for example, over the past couple of years, you've noticed that graphics cards for PC, like gaming, home PCs and stuff like that, have been kind of stagnant. Nothing's really been happening with the single exception of Intel, which is weird. Just such a wild thing to say, but it's the truth. There's a reason for that. It's because AMD and NVIDIA have focused pretty much all of their GPU development resources on making graphics processors that specialize in AI tasks to sell to the AI data centers, right? Well, now they're coming for our RAM. Okay? Yeah. Not just RAM, anything that uses NAND flash of any type. So that is RAM. That is SSDs. That's stuff like SD cards and so on. And because all of the SSDs are getting bought up, the data centers are looking, we need more storage. Guess it doesn't matter if it's slow. Hard drives, hard disk spinning rust is increasing in price right now. RAM is obviously what's been hit the hardest at the moment, but SSDs are also starting to climb. And it's to the point where, 6 months ago, you could buy 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM. It cost like $30, $30. It was so cheap. It was awesome. Now, 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM is like $250. And that's assuming you can find any in stock. Okay. So some of this is scarcity because all of these components are being bought by AI data centers to build out their machines. Some of it is artificial scarcity because retailers are like, ooh, people are panic buying right now. Let's jack up the prices and increase our profit margins by 1,000%. Definitely some of that been happening as well. Okay. Both things. So it's the manufacturers that suck and the retailers that suck. Everyone sucks. What makes it all so much worse is that this past week, Micron, who are one of the 3 companies in the world that manufacture all of the flash chips for RAM, has announced the discontinuation of their consumer-facing RAM brand. You may know them as Crucial, listener. If you have a desktop PC, go ahead and open it up. There's about a 20% chance that you have Crucial RAM in it. I have 3 operable desktop PCs in my house right now. 2 of them are running RAM that came from Micron in one way or another, right? Either it's Crucial RAM was made in-house by Micron themselves, or it is a G-Skill kit that is using chips on it from Crucial or from Micron, right? That they are discontinuing the Crucial brand after 25 years of making RAM, and they are going to stop making consumer RAM. They're just going to stop selling their chips to consumers in any form. So board partners that would buy that to use it, even companies like Apple who would be buying that RAM to put into their computers and their phones, they're not going to be selling as much to those companies either because they're going to be selling all of it to NVIDIA and AMD and other folks that are making crap for AI data centers. So, if you didn't upgrade your PC 6 months ago when we were talking about how, boy, you might want to think about upgrading your PC right now because things are going to get hairy pretty dang fast. I hate to break it to you, you missed the window.
Yeah.
It has closed. And now we are in basically survival mode as consumers, like just general tech consumers, for the foreseeable future. You've got the stuff you have, and you've got to make it work, whatever that takes, because the upgrades are going to get absurd. This whole thing with RAM is the reason that I feel so bad for Valve, because they announced all this cool stuff with Steam machines and whatnot, and it is cool stuff. But they didn't announce pricing because they knew that something like this was probably going to happen. But it's been so much worse than I personally expected, to be clear. And I don't know what Valve was expecting, but I can't imagine it was this bad. I don't think. So yeah, who knows what the prices on those are going to wind up being, because it's at the point now we're buying the 16 gigs of RAM to put into the Steam machine. I don't know. That might be $500 just by itself. So yeah, that's it's terrible. It's terrible.
It really is.
And there's not really a bright side to this, listener. I guess the bright side is we know that it can't last, because it is at this point pretty clear that AI is a bubble. It's massively overinflated in value in the world, in the tech sphere as a whole. NVIDIA was actually just, I think their CFO during an earnings call, was it this past week or 2 weeks ago or something like that, said that $100 billion deal that they had announced with OpenAI like 3 months ago or something like that, they haven't actually gotten any money from OpenAI for that yet.
Shocking.
Just hasn't happened. It's like they announced the whole thing. So yeah, like it's all fake. It's all massively inflated, and nobody is actually making any money at all on AI. Nobody is. Because, yeah, sure. OpenAI said we're going to buy $100 billion worth of NVIDIA crap. Okay. Where are they getting the money for that? Because OpenAI has not turned a profit off of their quote unquote customers ever at any point during their entire existence. So where are they getting the money for this? Oh, it's from NVIDIA. NVIDIA announced that they were going to invest $100 billion into OpenAI. And then OpenAI said, okay, we'll take $100 billion and buy GPUs. That's, what's it called? A Ponzi scheme? Is that a Ponzi scheme? I'm not sure exactly what type of illegal financial nonsense it is, but I can guarantee that it's basically like stock rigging at this point. So yeah, it's a bubble. It's going to crash. It's going to explode. The question is when. We don't know how long it's going to be. It could be 2 months from now. It could be 2 years from now. And that's where things are rough, listener. So like, yes, the tech that you have today is very likely just going to have to be the tech that lasts you for the next couple of years. And unless you really are okay with paying actual pants quadruple the price for the stuff that you buy versus what you were paying 6 months ago. So yeah, I have no positive spin to put on that.
I do. I have one slightly positive spin.
It'll get us all to go outside and touch grass?
Nope. Well, that, yes. But like the whole time you're talking, I just keep thinking, an Apple RAM and storage is already so expensive.
Yeah.
Right. But the benefit there is Apple never changes prices until they announce a new product. Not on the discounted side, or they don't ever go up. At least historically they haven't. Not saying they won't.
That's true.
But they haven't. But the benefit there is because they already charge so an ungodly amount of money for storage and RAM upgrades, they might be willing to just take the hit. I doubt it, but maybe.
Yeah.
At least on current prices. So when they announce new MacBooks and things like that in the near future, don't buy those. Buy the ones that are on sale now or the older ones, because those prices won't change theoretically.
Yeah. And that's a fair point, that if you were looking to like buy an upgrade kit of RAM for your custom PC, listener, yeah, you've missed that. That ship has sailed.
Yes.
If, however, you were looking for some kind of fully integrated pre-built or something like a laptop, especially like a MacBook or something, those prices haven't gone up yet.
Yeah.
So buy now while you still can.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine they'll probably go up after the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I will say I walked through Costco the other day, our local Costco here, and they had a big old row of pre-built PCs in there, and I didn't look that closely at them. Some of them might be good. But I can imagine that that's probably going to be like a really good bang for your buck PC in this environment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's sketchy, but I mean, it did make me feel really good about the fact that, a couple of weeks ago, I went to upgrade my computer with a motherboard and CPU that I'd gotten from my brother. When I got them, they didn't have any RAM. And so I was like, I'm going to need to get RAM for this eventually. I bought RAM for this upgrade like 6 months, 7 months ago, something like that. And it's just been sitting there for 6 months until I finally actually did the upgrade. And I've got to say, when I was pulling that RAM out, I was just like, I am so glad I bought this when I did, because I paid $30 for it, you know?
Hey, you know what? You could just turn around and sell that right now for $500.
I could have turned around and resold it, but then I wouldn't have any RAM.
That's
So
fair.
and it's not like that. That's like my house has skyrocketed in value. I could sell it and have all of this equity, but I still wouldn't be able to buy a new house because they're all so much more expensive now.
Right.
You know, it's that kind of thing. So yeah, I got lucky. I timed it well.
Yeah,
You
and
did.
I'm not happy about it because I hate that that's the thing you have to do.
Oh, it's so bad. Gosh dang. Well, the next one, honestly, listeners, not good news either. So we'll just move on to go on to this roll of. But the topic we're going to talk about is Netflix, and Netflix is dumb.
Yeah, and listener, this may not be what you're expecting me to talk about. You're probably thinking, oh yeah, Netflix was just announced to be buying Warner Brothers. Technically, that was announced, and yes, that is dumb. But that's going to be going on for at least a year to a year and a half, maybe 2 years at most. So I'm not going to be talking about that right now. The thing that I'm talking about that I think is dumb is Netflix has dropped support for casting from their mobile apps. Now, this may be something that you haven't used, listener, in a while, because you just typically watch Netflix on your TV or just directly on your phone or tablet. But if by chance you ever go on vacation, go to a hotel, yes, that TV probably has Netflix on it, but I recommend never signing into any of your own accounts on those TVs, because generally signing out of them is not easy, and if you can't sign out of it, that sucks, because now it's on a hotel television.
Yep.
And that's never fun. So the benefit was always you could just cast from your phone to the TV in the hotel, because most likely that TV has casting support, because most TVs made in the last 5 to 10 years have casting support. But, as I said, Netflix is dropping support for the ability to cast from your devices to your TVs. And that really sucks.
That does. That really does suck. I didn't use it by all means, but no, to the point of what you're saying, like go to vacation or go somewhere or just want to cast this to a TV for whether it's kids or yourself. Like,
yeah,
that's a great thing, but that's dumb.
And I think probably the reason they want to do this is because they want people paying more, because you could take your phone somewhere and cast it to a friend's TV and watch your Netflix account somewhere else, and you don't have to sign in or pay for the extra whatever it is to have you log in elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it's dumb. Like it says, Netflix is dumb. This is a stupid move. I really hate it. And the sad thing is, because Netflix is doing it, other companies could probably follow suit, like Disney or Amazon, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, we don't support casting either. Which, like casting is one of the best things to come out of Google ever. You know what still supports casting? Plex. Yes. Just saying. But I don't have anything in my Plex library. Well, listener, get a VPN. There's ways to solve that problem. Yep. That's as far as we're going to say on that one. I was going to say, we've gotten to the point where I'm not like, in the past, I was always, I'm never officially advocating for it, but I don't know, the economy being what it is right now, maybe I am. Yeah. We'll see. Well, let's go ahead and we'll move on to the next topic here. We got hold on. I just, we had that conversation about RAM. I just checked something. I just clicked on a thing. Currently, so we were talking about how now is the time to buy Apple devices because their RAM upgrade prices actually, it kind of makes sense. If you were to go get yourself a Dell XPS 13
off of their website right now and upgrade from 16 to 32 gigs of RAM. On a MacBook Pro, M4 base model MacBook Pro, that costs about $400, which 6 months ago, highway robbery, about 3 times what that should cost. Currently, Dell is asking $550 for it.
Oh. Oof.
So, yeah, right now, actually, Apple has the cheap RAM upgrade prices. So,
there's words I never thought you'd hear out of your mouth.
Hell just froze over. I hate this timeline. I don't know. This is psychotic.
Jeez. Okay. Anything else before?
Nope. Just the end of the world as we know it.
Just the end of the world. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here. OnePlus 15 is available in the U.S.
Yeah, here's some better news, listener. I purposely put this here so I could end the general tech segment on a little happier note. But yes, the OnePlus 15 has passed FCC, or has gone through the FCC and is, now available to pre-order inside of the US. And as I've been a fan of OnePlus for a long time, there was about a 5-year period there where it was not as easy to recommend because they just weren't great like they used to be. They were getting more expensive and not giving you as much for the phone like what they used to do, where it was a cheap phone, but it had really good specs. Then it got an expensive phone for not the same specs. But now it is an expensive phone, but the specs match the price at least when it comes to comparing to other phones. And if you do pre-order the phone, which you only have until the end of this week, I believe, to do that. I can't remember what day. But sometime this week is when the pre-order ends. I think it's the 11th. But if you do that, you have the option of getting a free OnePlus Watch 3, which is a $300 value, or the OnePlus Buds Pro 3, that's a name, which is a $180 value. Or you can get a OnePlus AirVook 50-watt magnetic charger, $80 value. Or, I don't even know why this is an option, a OnePlus 15 phone case. Listener, get the watch, even if you don't want it. Get the watch. It's $300. And then you can sell it if you don't want it.
Yeah. I was going to say, you can harvest the RAM out of it and sell that on the black market.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
It goes for about as much as a kidney these days. So, I mean,
you're taking the kidney out of the device. So,
Exactly. There you go.
They are also doing some trade-in offers up to $899 for trade-in, depending on the device, and they're guaranteeing at least $100 instant credit of trade-in for any phone in any condition. So if you just happen to have an old phone lying around somewhere that isn't usable, there's $100 off right there. So
can I trade in more than one?
I don't know.
Like more than one phone at a time?
Do that? That would be fantastic.
Because I was going to say, if they'll give me $100 per device, regardless of condition, I could get a free phone from them.
And a free watch.
And a free watch. Yeah,
Ooh,
just like I've got like 8 phones I could just easily cash in. How much does it was like 800?
It's $899,
something like that.
So it's $900.
$899. Okay. Yeah, I've got 9 phones I could trade in.
That would be actually pretty cool if you could.
I don't know.
Some of them are new enough that they
surprised.
might even be worth more than $100. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. But there you go, listener. If you were waiting on the OnePlus 15 be available in the US, now is the time to pre-order. And like I said, all the reviews I've seen on this phone are really, really good. So there you go. There's your some more good news in the podcast. We kind of bookend things with good news. We had the Airdrop thing and the OnePlus 15, So that's fun.
Yeah, we tried.
We tried. All right, we're going to move into some gaming news. Gaming news we have. We're going to talk about Tim Sweeny and just how he can't figure out why people like Steam.
Yeah, so this was actually something I put here because I was also trying to find something a little bit more positive to end the episode on. And dunking on Tim Sweeny is always a good time.
Yeah.
So the short version of this story is that just over 2 weeks ago or so, 2.5 weeks ago, Steam rolled out a requirement for developers to acknowledge whether or not their game contains AI generated content of any sort, whether there's AI generated assets or textures, or whether part of it was coded with AI or there's AI voiceovers or whatever. And they flag that, right? It basically just puts a notice on the store page for the game that says, hey, this game contains AI generated stuff. That was it. Valve made that change to Steam. It rolled out this past week. Tim Sweeny is the dumbest dude. I think that is. Oh, I don't know. I say that like he's worse, like stupider than Elon Musk, and I don't think that's true. Probably, but maybe he's just not quite as loud as Elon Musk. I don't know. But he cannot go more than a month or so without making a fool of himself in public, because he's like, if people aren't looking at me, then they forget I exist or something like that. Maybe he actually thinks that if people aren't looking at him, he'll cease to exist. Like he's a weeping angel from Doctor Who or something like that. I don't know what is going on in his brain, but every few months he will say something just absolutely unhinged and pretend like it's obviously correct, and pretend that everything he has said makes the perfect sense and everyone should think the way he does. And there is no room for personal opinion or for any discussion or debate on any of these points. And particularly, if it's something that a company he doesn't like did, he will disagree with them on principle, whether or not everyone agrees that it was a good thing. So Steam makes this change. Basically every gamer on Steam is all like, yes, good form, Valve. Thank you. We appreciate the information. I don't think that it was necessarily changing a whole lot of people's buying habits, but I don't think anybody was upset to know, right?
Yeah.
More information is better. Everyone was happy about that. And then Tim Sweeny gets onto Twitter and is all like, this is stupid. Valve should get rid of it. And everyone immediately ratioed him to hell. And they're just like, Tim, go crawl back under the Epic Rock and just stop talking. It's just, it's amazing. And he doubled down. And and was just like, no, why do people need to know this information? You know, it's like putting ingredients lists or something like that on the thing. And everyone's like, yes, Tim, ingredients list on the things we consume. Wonder where they could have gotten that idea. Almost like it's on all of our food. And sometimes it's kind of nice to know what the ingredients in your food are so that you can make decisions that are informed. And he's all like, well, then I think they should require their developers to put what brand of deodorant they wear onto their store pages. And everyone is just like, Tim, are things okay at home? Like, are you all right? Like, what is going on? So Tim Sweeny, whose storefront, Epic Games, has never turned a profit, can't seem to fathom why people like using the most profitable, most popular game store on the PC. Tim, it's because Steam tells us stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's because Steam gives us the information, gives us good reviews, like, you know, that are verified from players, a whole review system that we can trust, gives us like a lot of information about the way the game was developed and about the contents of the game, allows us generous return windows. And then, it puts things like whether or not there's AI generated content out in a place where we can find it so that we can make informed purchasing decisions. Tim, that's why we like Steam. And that's why nobody likes Epic. I mean, I do have the Epic Game Store. I have actual hundreds of games on the Epic Game Store. They don't even have my credit card on file. Like, I've never put payment information into the Epic Game Store. So that's another reason why they're also hemorrhaging money. But yeah, I don't know. Tim Sweeny opens his mouth and hilarity ensues. And that's just about how it happens every single time. Occasionally, he manages to hit on a topic where, most consumers kind of agree with him, sorta, but just as often as that, he's getting all ticked off because Steam puts useful information onto a store page and then whines about how I should be putting deodorants on there too. And it's like, okay, yep. Sure, Tim. Why don't you do that on the Epic Game Store? Require all of your developers to put what kind of deodorant they wear onto the store page and see if that works. See if that gets you to turn a profit. Give it a shot.
I mean, to be fair, he'd probably get more clicks on the game store. People would go to just see,
Probably, yeah, actually.
Wouldn't give him any money, but he'd get more views, and some people care about that.
It's at some point in time he's going to have to start putting ads on the store page for the Epic Game Store, because that's the only way he's going to make money, is if he's selling ad space.
Yep.
In fact, are they not? Maybe they're already doing that. They might already be doing that. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have Epic Game Store. You might be the only one on that one.
Listen, so many free games. In fact, right now, you can get, Jackbox Party Pack 4, which released in 2017, is currently free on the Epic Game Store till December 11th, which is... I didn't even know that you could still get the old Jackbox Party Packs, but I guess they're still using the same server backend. So it all still works even though the super old version of the game. But I mean, if it all still plays, then Jackbox they're fun.
They are fun. All right. Well, I guess we're done talking about Tim Sweeny there. And it looks like it actually brings us to the end of the episode. Unless, Landon, you got one more thing for us.
Kinda. I'm not going to play the sound for this one, because in reality, it's not one more thing. I just thought of something that is another quote-unquote benefit to this RAM and storage and stuff like that. Going on. And that is, for all those people... and this includes Wes, to all those people that can't upgrade to Windows 11 because their hardware requirements don't match. Now they have a really good excuse to not upgrade to Windows 11 because they can't afford to.
Yeah. I'm actually curious to see if Windows does anything, or Microsoft does anything about it. You know what I mean? We need you to upgrade. I can't afford it. How about you give me a PC or something?
Give me some RAM.
It'll be interesting how this works. No, they won't, but it'll be interesting if they do anything.
Yeah, it would actually be kind of funny if they were like, given the light of how it sucks to upgrade computers right now. And, because here's the thing. The price of motherboards hasn't gone up yet. AI data centers don't care about those. So what's out of date on your machine is your motherboard, really. You just need the TPM module to be upgraded on your motherboard with your platform.
That's true.
You get a motherboard CPU combo. That price has not really changed that much over the past 6 months. The only problem is that for you to make that upgrade, you would also have to buy new RAM.
Yep.
which costs 5 times what the motherboard and CPU would cost. Yeah. So
maybe we'll get another year extension.
See?
Yeah, maybe they'll give you another extension on Windows 10 support.
Maybe that, somewhat good news from this. Doubtful, but maybe.
Listen, Wes, I've got a thumb drive right here with Bazite on it.
If it gets to that point
by your house.
Yeah, if it gets to that point, I'm not ready yet, but I'll stick to this year. How long did I stick with Windows Phone? Come on.
That's true.
I stuck with it till it wasn't supported. So,
you stuck with it 6 months after that.
Because I was phone searching.
To be fair,
I got that Razr.
Honestly, I think you stuck at you were with Windows Phone for. I mean, I yes, technically it was supported, but it wasn't supported ever by developers, anyways.
Security patches.
I'm just meaning apps and
usability.
No,
there wasn't much. I just liked how it ran, man. I like how it ran. Are you really putting HP printer worst platform of the year? You're going to put RAM on there?
Well, I'm trying to decide if I should just do it for RAM in general or if I should specifically call out Micron.
We'll find out. That's awesome. Anyway, well, that brings us to the end of the episode, listener. We apologize for bringing the mood down. Hopefully come back up with the Tim Sweeny talk and maybe a little laughter there. Hopefully we leave you at least with a smile on your face somehow. If you want to get a hold of us anytime or if you want to send us anything, you can over on our social media platforms as well as callingallplatforms.com. If you want to go and check out the YouTube channel, take a look at that. Like over there, subscribe, check a look at some of those videos. Maybe Caleb will upload one here soon. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a rant about RAM. Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll find out. All right, listener, have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.